Please.
Hey guys, my name is EKAY and I'm a spoken word artist and all around creative. My mantra, I think I live by, you can learn anything from anybody, so everybody's voice is valid, including your own.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
Relaxed, inquisitive, and vibes.
Good or bad vibes?
Depends. Nah, all good. All healthy vibes. So,
EKAY,
Larissa.
how are you?
I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah? I'm really good. Thank you for having me.
No
Vibes.
problem. Vibes?
Yeah, no,
Healthy
no,
vibes.
no, no.
2020. How's 2020 been for you?
Boy,
Now, what would you describe 2020 as in one word?
in one word. Chaotic.
Chaotic. It's been a crazy.
It's been a chaotic year. The thing is, chaos doesn't always have to be like a bad thing. Like, sometimes chaos brings necessary change.
Yeah.
But more time chaotic is like chaotic.
So how would you say the year's gonna be?
It's been a stretching year.
Stretching.
So it's like there's been it's one of them ones where it's like there's been stuff that's happened
Right.
that hasn't always felt comfortable.
Right.
But like it's been like a catalyst for growth, you know what I mean? So it's been like I never asked for it to happen.
Yeah, but it happened.
And now it's happened. Let me kind of see what I can get from it the best way. And more time it's like turned out and it's turned out real beautiful.
Have you had any good achievements this year? Like anything that you'd be proud of?
One, I think I'm just like proud that I've gotten through the year. It sounds like a proper cliche.
No, it's not a cliche. You have to be thankful at this point. It's been insane.
Yeah.
Insanity.
And I put out an EP, you know, so I finally like put some art into the world that's been like the real for time. So yeah, and I met some real cool people like along the way as well.
Oh
so,
wow,
yeah.
that's amazing. When you hear the 3 words "live your movie," what does it mean to you?
I really like because I think when you hear live your movie, you tend to already think of like really like big, massive stuff. But I kind of like this is a very much from the ends kind of grassroots thing.
Yeah.
You can like live your movie in different ways, you know, wherever you are. But I think hearing it makes me think of kind of unapologetically me. Like at the end of the living the movie, I can look back and be like, I ain't compromised who I was.
Kept it real.
Yeah, like I kept it real.
Yeah.
Because I can live my movie and achieve best stuff, but if
Yeah.
I don't feel like I've been like,
Myself, yeah.
or like Emmanuel, then I'm
Like, I think there's somewhere in the Bible that says something about like, what is it to profit the world and like, just like basically lose yourself or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's true. Like, imagine you get the whole world, but you've lost yourself.
yeah, then
What's the point? Like, do you know what I mean? What would you say is your movie, the struggle or the success part?
It would be the struggle. So for me, I think my movie is displaying other people's movies, capturing those, so kind of making sure that, you know, it's like a collage of, my movie is a collage of other people's movies. Just the movie that everyone's seen in Screen 1 seemed like the most popular movie, but I want to make sure the movie in Screen 5 is given just as much like screen time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just being like the facilitator of that, I think is like, really important to me, because I'm really interested in other people's stories. And you're a product of like your mum and dad's story. Do you know what I mean? And I think the idea of just making sure stories don't get forgotten is important to me.
I think it's really interesting that you say that, because that's what like Live Your Movie is all about. It's all about understanding that our story doesn't start here. It starts back. Like our parents, and everything our parents had to go through is part of our movie. So it's like a continuation kind of thing. And it's like, what are you gonna do? Like in terms of living movie, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna sit there and just let life, you know, or you're gonna live life kind of thing, or you're gonna live your movie sort of thing. Because there's a whole generation that you have to do this for in the future and the past. Like they're just looking at it like, bro, you're not trying to keep this going sort of thing.
There's like a prequel,
yeah,
like a film, there's like a sequel, like
yeah, exactly.
But I kind of just see it as, you know, maybe I can't change the world in my lifetime, but I kind of grabbed, in a relay race, you kind of grab the baton from who's come before you. And you just run as far as you can.
Sort of like finding your niche and wherever you're placed, being the best at it, and just keep it stepping up, keep running, keep doing your thing. What does identity mean to you? So, what makes your identity?
What makes my identity?
Like, what is identity to you?
Hey, give me an example, like, what's yours? Like?
So for me, my identity is very much where I'm from. my background, you know, Nigeria, my name. I feel like when I really dwell on my African name. So one of my African names means only God can judge, and the other one means there's no hurry in life. So I feel like I really, over the past few years, I've tried to identify with like my Edo names. Like, nah, this is me. Like, I don't need to rush. I don't need to watch no one else. I need to just stay in my lane and live my movie. So those are sort of what makes my identity.
From Ghana and Sierra Leone.
Yeah, you're from Ghana and Sierra Leone.
Yeah, I'm half and half. Very much black. I'm a black Briton. We kind of have this issue of feeling that we're not from home.
Yeah.
But like we kind of disconnect between back home, you know, back home and here, and how like my children, unless I really, really try, they're probably gonna feel even more disconnected from the motherland.
What are you gonna do about that?
I don't know, because it depends on who you end up with as well. Because I'm already from 200. It's the third part of my identity still being that black British.
Yeah. Which one do you identify with mostly? Like, which one would you say? Yeah. Because some people will be like, oh, I identify with being black British, like, and I'm like, I'm black African.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I hear you. So I'm trying to be comfortable with the fact that I am like more. If you asked me like 2 years ago, I'd be like, yeah, I'm like black African. I don't believe this country. I have a red passport, but don't involve me.
Yeah, that's me. I'm like, don't mix me Pandange. Listen,
wow.
Hey, you don't know. I speak. Okay, my best friend's creating it, but don't mix me. This country. I don't know anybody. Listen, I'm Nigerian. Innit?
But then you have to think about the fact that you can do that. But then, what about your grandkids? You know what I mean?
No, my kids are going to Nigeria every year.
But then, what if you don't end up with a Nigerian?
My husband needs to understand, darling. You've got to make this.
And then this is why people say like Nigerian culture is so like space for the culture to breathe, as if their culture is not just as important.
No. So as hard as it will be, I know right now I need to do the best that I can to understand my language. I need to do the best that I can to go back home. So when I get with whoever I'm with, if he is from another country, I put in my work, he puts in his work, and that's it. It's equal. I want my kids to go to his country every year. I want to go to my country every year. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
No, I hear you.
But
yeah, just think about ways in which, you know, even like if going back doesn't seem feasible for everybody, how do we like create communities like here, whether that's like Saturday schools, or something that this reminds our kids that, you know, we didn't just end up in this country. You know what I mean? There are different like socioeconomic and like geopolitical reasons that kind of push the migration.
Yeah. So the EP, I know you've got the yellow brick. You've got yellow brick in the back.
Yeah.
If you don't know, guys, go and look at it. And it's like, I'm just getting vibes. Like, was there a reason for that being there? Is it where you're from, that you just wanted to show this is me and this is where I'm from?
EP, the post office. So yeah, it's got little symbols of like the EP throughout, but yeah, there's like a yellow wall that's kind of similar to yellow, so like a state I grew up on. Then you got that other kind of indications of like where this EP comes. Yeah, where the inspiration comes from, and where the eye comes from. And like even just the artwork itself, we had to make it looks really cartoony and quite bright. And I remember looking thinking, normally EP goes meant to be cold, you know what I mean? But like, maybe this is going to be a bit disconcerting for people. Like you're forced to look at Peckham in a light that's not stereotypical. So that's kind of the thinking around it was like, you lot are seeing it, and you know this guy with black. Leaning on the face, like, what is?
Were you wearing a tracksuit in it?
I'm wearing like a tracksuit, you know.
Oh god, typical black. I'm joking.
Wow.
no. Imagine like that's what we're thinking, like raw, like typical.
Yeah. But then the bright colours behind
that.
Are really like
it's a
like
different
jarring.
spin on it. Yeah.
So that was kind of the hope.
That's the whole point. Like we want to say your stories and say everyone's stories to have that positive, you know, perspective in the media and stuff. That like you can come from Peckham and be calm. That kind of thing.
And you can still rock your like tracksuits for work and be just as professional. Do you know what I mean?
I'm all here for a tracksuit. I wear a tracksuit to work.
Fair.
Listen, like obviously, when I get to work, I change into scrubs, but I'm wearing a trackie because I can't. Like, I'm tired. It's 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
Who's gonna be doing that fashionista? Chill. Do you know what I mean? Like, but don't judge me. Like, don't judge me because of that. But that's another very sensitive topic for another day.
One day we'll talk about whiteness being the mark for professionalism.
Because if I bring my afro now, it's crazy hair. Let's not talk about that. Because seriously, stay with it. Did you go down the uni route, or did you not go to uni?
Very, very traditional. So went from GCSE. I don't know.
What did you get at GCSE?
This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
I left with like 10 A's. This was 1A stars. I got the 1A star in drama, and I got 10 A's because I was like triple science.
10 A's. Sorry.
Or maybe it was 9 at this point. But yeah, but then entering A level, all my teachers, they gassed me. They were like, oh, because you're like this, you need to go to this. I'm not gonna out the sixth form, but you need to go to this sixth form. That's kind of like out of your area, your catchment area.
But what was the necessity of coming out of your area? Did they feel like it would, you know, give you more opportunities?
Yeah, and it had a more prestigious name to it.
Okay.
But I remember they were like, this is a school that's got, you know, the most predominantly like white people. It had a certain kind of name to it and like something to kind of like live up to.
You could thrive better in an environment that was related.
If there was like a stat part 2,
yeah,
I feel like my A level.
Was there 6th form back then?
Nah, they started it now, innit? Which is bare jar. They were building the
so
school. But I would have feel like I would have been a lot more comfortable with the stat part 2 because I felt like that could have been me being more myself. Like, it's like I don't feel really comfortable here. The teachers sometimes the way they kind of spoke about like me or my or like the way I like saw things, it was very demotivating, and I felt like I had to now fit into this kind of and you know what, some people do that well, and I think it's a good skill if you can adapt. And I know a lot of my friends who went on to like Oxbridge, that went to like grammar schools, private schools, and they did like amazingly. They were like from my school, from around the area, and I have to admit they were very good at like adapting and you know and harnessing them skills, but I just wasn't.
I don't feel like they never prepared us for that in the first place. Do you know what I mean? Everyone has different strengths and different weaknesses, but I remember going to uni and sort of struggling with the same thing, being the only sort of black person. I was like, So I feel like there needs to be that preparation. So if you are coming out of the ends or out of South, let me say, you are prepared for whatever sort of little jabs that they want to throw at us, and that, you know, you live in a flat, or you, do you know what I mean? Or I ride a horse.
Yeah, there's no like life, there's definitely that there's a cultural disconnect that comes from transitioning from a space where you understand the environment and culture, and they understand you, and then moving to a space where it's different. They don't understand.
They don't understand that.
Well, I think it's just because as like a black person, you're just a minority. So every other space is normal, and yours is just, you know what I mean, by nature, yours is just not the norm. So I remember like in uni, so I went from A-levels to uni, and like I studied civil engineering, and like in my class they were talking about, so this kind of thing you can see in like, if in your garden you can see this, and I was kind of like, I'm probably the only person in this room that doesn't have a garden.
Yeah, okay.
So that, how can you expect me to understand that environment?
And there should definitely be a bit more, what's the word, open or general, because some people don't have gardens. I don't have a garden. But
then this just kind of speaks to, like, and this is not in a negative, it wasn't my lecturer's fault that he didn't but just the kind of ignorance.
Or the gap,
like, the fact that there are different lived experiences people have, and if you grow up growing up in Britain in a place where we are the minority, and the cultural references that we have are just not the norm, and you can be in a space and you might feel like you've got imposter syndrome, or you don't fit in, or you might feel like you don't really get what's going on, and you have to be able to understand that. That's not because you're not as good as people, or you're not because you're not as intelligent as people, but just understanding that your frames of reference and that places from life are different, and that's something that will feel very different, and you need to understand that, but not doubt that you deserve to be in that space.
Could you dive into imposter syndrome? What is it?
So there's different like names for it, but imposter syndrome is like the biggest kind of, and I think calling it a syndrome makes it seem like it's only some people can get it, but everybody has imposter syndrome at different stages in their life. So it's the idea that you are entering a space that you don't belong in.
And that
can be in different ways. So I'm like, even though I'm a black, so I'm a minority, I'm also a man, so there's certain spaces I feel more comfortable in than you would. Or like as a black woman, there are different intersections of like gender and race and religion and sexuality that make people feel safer in certain spaces. But I might go into a space and like I feel like an imposter because I'm the youngest person there. Or I'm the youngest black person there.
Or the youngest black male
there from this area that no one else is from. Exactly. So now I'm here and I'm trying to be who I am, but who I am doesn't naturally fit in. So now I'm kind of like, do I change who I am to fit in?
Did you ever find yourself doing that along your journey?
No, definitely. I found myself doing that at my old workplace, and I have to find myself trying to unlearn it and just new workplace because I think, you know,
just be you, mate.
Yeah, and my colleagues are like really cool and they're really trying to like, you know, they're really open to that. They're very conscious, very conscious of the fact that people are different. But you can feel that there. Like you could feel that when you go into uni, like you don't deserve to be in your lecture class, like in your lecture hall. You can feel that when you're going into the workplace. So yeah, imposter syndrome, just entering a space and feeling like you don't belong.
I think school didn't really prepare us for all of those things, and I feel like it should be something that is, you know, spoken about. I don't know, because it's real, and it starts to give you that sort of anxiety. Well, I did. But what would you say were the mental or emotional challenges, obstacles that you sort of faced during your journey, especially if you know, at some point felt like, oh, right, like, am I even meant to be here? You know, there's obviously that sudden self-doubt and stuff like that. So what would you say, you know, in hindsight, across the board has been something that you've sort of struggled with?
I'll be honest, and like, I think this is something that I don't say like I say I own, and I think it's important that I own that. I don't think I dealt with imposter syndrome in like the best way. Like I wasn't always the most resilient. So if I'm in this, because I very much know who I am and I like to feel comfortable where I am, I would enter a space and be like, oh, they're not going to accept me, and I just withdraw. I'm not really trying to come to this lecture. You know, I really feel super comfortable there. I'm not gonna lie, and I'd rather. And like now, it's the whole phrase, you gotta work 10 times the parts. And I'm thinking, I need to come with the finished project now. Because if I don't, people might misunderstand what I'm trying to say. So I need to come and show I deserve to be here. But you should never have to prove that you deserve to be here. You shouldn't have to,
and that's really annoying.
But I remember feeling that a lot, and I think there's some ways until today I feel like that in certain spaces, and I think so just needing to like unlearn that. But I think for anyone who listens, just understanding that whatever space you're in, you actually deserve to be there. And no one's really more impressive than you, or no one really knows what they're doing. Other people actually, like psychology shows that most people feel like they don't deserve to be in spaces at the same time. No one's really watching you. Everyone's trying to.
It could even just be you moving mad, kind of thing. Like, just calm yourself down. What's funny is that I'm listening to you and I'm like, I'm the complete opposite. I am toxic. Okay, not toxic, but initially in uni when I felt like that, because it was the first experience of imposter syndrome, I was kind of like, whoa, what is this? Listen, I came from South, Woolworth, you know, everyone's black.
Gang, you went making noise on the bus.
Yeah. I did not make noise on the bus. But the moral of the story is that even, not just Woolworth, like there's bare schools around me, everyone's black, like I feel comfortable, I can be myself. I've now come into a space where I'm by myself. I'm the only one that really wears a trackie and a North Face and Ugg boots, long weave, like, okay, where is everyone? Where is everyone? But it's a thing where like, I remember feeling like, raw, like this is mad, like anxious and stuff. But now, because I've deeped it, and even speaking to people like you, I'm like, do you know what? You've been in that situation. There's plenty more people that have been in that situation. I wouldn't say I'm the best at dealing with it or handling it, because it definitely does sort of, sometimes I feel like my confidence. But why I say I can be a bit maybe toxic is because I will now overpower that feeling, and I'll make sure that my voice is heard. I'll be like, excuse me, sorry, did you hear me?
I love that.
No, because you're not gonna shut me down, okay? Because I don't die for the old team. You people just wanna fumble my bag. I've worked so hard to get here, and you guys wanna fumble me. No, so I will be like, oh, excuse me, sorry, did you hear me? I've been in situations where my voice has been missed. Like I've said, morning. And I'm like, bro, like, do I smell? Like,
and it should never have to be that way.
It shouldn't have to be that way.
It's like, and it's interesting because you're very probably conscious of the fact that there are stereotypes for black women that mean that if you are. It's like, why is she just loud? But it's the same person who wasn't a black woman was like, oh, Karen was like, excuse me.
Yeah.
Nobody would think that she's like aggressive.
Why is it that my tone is more aggressive
and that's the thing. I think because I was so conscious of all the kind of things that play, it was almost like maybe if I was more ignorant to it when I was younger, I'll just be in my space like, I do like to be here. But I'm very conscious of the fact that as like if I do pull up in my tracksuits and I slip up and use slang, my kind of colloquialism just going to be linked to somebody who's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think just being so overthinking all that stuff so much, down to like, what if I speak up in this way, or if I disagree with someone,
am I being rude? Am I aggressive? I've been there before.
But I wish I was just. It's almost like it's better even if you feel like you aren't aware of that stuff.
Yes.
Or you'll become aware of it, but you have to now hit the point where I'm aware,
totally
but
true,
I need to actually
fight
against that.
Yeah.
That's important for
I
me
feel
and for
like
the culture.
There's two things that you said. I think number one, I feel like if you feel like that, and this is again why we all need to do better together, to have conversations like this, because it's like, okay, cool, me and you both felt this way, what are we going to do about it? 4 of us felt this way, what are we going to do about it? 10 of us, cool, now let's do something about it. Because the truth of the matter is, like, a couple of weeks ago, I was in this situation where, I just have to say this, I was in this situation where I asked a colleague a question. I said, oh, do you know what I did? She was like, what is it that you want? And I was like, yeah, in my head, this is what was going on in my head. Because I was thinking, who child? We should do this. You know that? My face was like, I didn't say nothing. I just walked away. But when I went back to where I walked away to, my head was doing boom, boom. But you know, I was thinking, I should have said something. So I was like, do you know what it is, Larissa? As much as I don't want to say something, because I know I'm going to look like the angry black girl, I have to. Because I'm now beating myself up that you were so rude. You would never speak to your brethren like that. Don't talk to me like that, please. So I had my speech already. I was like, I understand that you needed to but I do not like being spoken to like that. But funny enough, before I even got to it, she came and said, you know, I'm so sorry for speaking to you like that. Like, I was just bursting to use the toilet. I was like, oh my God, thank you. Because if I said something, I would have just been written off. I don't feel like you should have to hold it in. Say it, like. But I think it's how we say it. To be honest, the way we say it is fine. They just have an issue with it. But I think we need to know how to finesse it. That when we do say it, you look mad.
World,
do you get what I'm trying to say? Do you feel like the lack of representation sort of affected you as well in your performance, in how you felt about yourself?
The classes that I did best in at uni, there was like a Nigerian lecturer. You know what I mean? And just someone who I felt like I could like connect with and be more myself with, and I felt more free to just, And some people are really good at code switching and they know how to work with loads of, I know how to work with different people. But if you want the best Emmanuel, I need to know you're ready for the best Emmanuel. Which is something that I'm trying to learn to navigate, because at the end of the day, if I went back, I wouldn't have, I'm not going to have all black lecturers. But I think
when you're saying you need to know how to adapt.
It's possible to, but learn how to adapt and be confident as you do. Seeing someone who looks like me just made it all seem a bit like more possible. As like the head of content for a startup. And it's interesting because I think with that you kind of have your own ideas and your own lived experience being young, and there's people in the business that have been there for like years. Just like learning to navigate that. How do you bring like most of yourself to the place?
And where you're coming from as well.
Yeah, where you're coming from, but still make sure it's like aligned with what they're. So that's kind of what I do now. But I think if you can't find representation where you work, find it outside of it. So there's probably someone else in my field who is doing what they're doing, who I can look up to.
Right.
Be like, this person's doing it. I can do it too.
Yes.
I think if you're at school or uni, even if you're not seeing in your lecture you were like the only black woman, find one, and apparently there's not even many, there's like a handful of like black professors in the UK in certain fields. But like, if you can find someone who you think represents who you are, then that should hopefully be like, that's why I think, even if you don't necessarily agree with Barack and Michelle Obama's like political, the behaviours and views, and that's debatable. Just having children that have grown up seeing somebody on that stage, just opens so many doors.
Like you aspire like, no, if they can do that, I can do that.